The first building defects that I would like to introduce is peeling paint. Here is the 8th floor office exit area of the Faculty of Built Environment, University of Malaya. Peeling paint is the lifting of small to large sections of the paint and is due to poor adhesion and to the brittleness of the paint. It usually occurs on building facades, mainly on plastered walls, columns and other areas which are exposed to excessive rain and great dampness. Peeling paint is always the result of poor surface preparation. The majority of peeling paint problems occurs on surfaces exposed to the rain, sun, and the variation degree of temperature. Here is the glass window beside this wall and the sun actually can expose to this wall through the window glazing. The indoor condition with air conditioner at the same time result a variation degree of temperature. In a long time the paint start to peel. As you can see, the wall beside has a growth of mold, meaning that the dampness take place on the wall. Dampness also result the paint to peel. This location is the pantry area of 2nd floor, Block D, 4th Residential College, University of Malaya. If paint peels from an interior wall, the reason for the peeling paint is mostly often due to an improper preparation of the surface before painting. Apart from that, the moisture surrounding the wall also seeps in through from the wall to the paint surface. Loss of adhesion of the paint film caused by high levels of moisture that penetrate the film and eventually push the film away from the substrate. The wall is behind the sink, so the possible cause is the water accidentally spill on the wall after washing by the peoples. Thus, in order to repair and restore, repainting the wall that had peeling paint on it can be made as to make it attractive again. The second defect that I would like to introduce is fungi and small plant attack. This location is the outdoor area of Faculty of Built Environment. Here is the corridor that can passing to the building of Department of Electrical Engineering. Mold and fungi are found everywhere, either both indoors and outdoors all the year round. The terms fungi and mold are often used interchangeably, but mold is actually a type of fungi. If indoor exposure to mold can cause a variety of adverse health effects, but there is no bring any health impact to people where the mold is grow at outdoor area of building. Mold seems likely to grow and become bigger threat only when there is water damage, high humidity, or dampness. Molds live in the soil, on plants, and on dead or decaying matters. Outdoors, molds play as a key role in the breakdown of leaves, wood, and other plant debris. Molds belong to the kingdom of fungi, and unlike plants, they are lack in chlorophyll and must survive by digesting plant materials, and consequently inverting them and other organic materials as food. Without molds, our environment would be overwhelmed with large amounts of dead plant matter. Molds produce and release millions of spores small enough to be in the air, water, or insect-borne. They can also produce toxic agents known as mycotoxins. Spores and mycotoxins can have negative effects on human health. The possible causes of this defects is the water leakage that happen by the rain from the rooftop of the bridgeway direct flow on the wall, because there is no roof cover this wall during rainy day actually. The floor surface also will accumulate the rainwater during the rainy day. Besides that, higher humidity can cause the growth of mold faster. Plus, the area was surrounded by shade of the bridgeway and reduces of direct sunlight through the building. Thus, the degree of humidity around the building is high. The third defects in my portfolio is tiles popping up. This location is the outdoor area that in front of the Faculty of Built Environment. Buckled up tile floors are a common experience around the world. Perfectly flat tile floors can buckle up anytime, and this can happen for a variety of reasons. The first cause occurs when temperature and humidity drop, buildings shrink slightly. If the tiles were installed over crack paper or if they were hard grouted to the base, a lot of pressure is placed on them when the heat is turned on and there is no more humidity. Which means that pressure will make the tile floors buckle up. The second cause is an area of floor is directly exposed to sunlight and the underlayment under the tiles is of a poor quality. Chances are that tiles will pop up eventually. A thermal shock can be the culprit during a hot day when after the sun has heated up your outdoor tiles for a few hours, and then a sudden storm that see a large volume of cold water hit the surface. The third cause is not allowing for expansion or movement around the perimeter of a tiled area in the installation. All perimeters up against walls need to include at least a 1/8 inch joint to allow for natural movement. In addition, wide floor expanses need to include joints to allow for expansion of the concrete, since it naturally expands and contracts with the weather. The fourth cause is not using the corrective adhesive over a concrete slab that is still curing. So, what can be done when tiles buckle up or pop? First, replace the floors and install new tiles. Second way is reinstall the tiles if you can, inject the areas in various spots with special adhesive. The fourth defects in my portfolio is rising dampness. Here is the outdoor stage that located in front of the Faculty of Built Environment. Dampness is generally defined as unwanted and excessive water or moisture. The existing of dampness in building is one of the most damaging failures that really must be taken care of. It can cause damage in brickwork by saturating them, decaying and breaking up of mortar joints, rotting in the timber structures, defecting by the corrosion of iron and steel materials, and also destroying the equipment in the building. Dampness in walls has been taken in consideration in recent years. If even the level of dampness is low, the value of the building can be highly affected. The possible cause included rain. Precipitation can be wind-driven that it penetrates joints that remain watertight in normal weather condition. The gutter overflow also can collect and be the aspects of dampness against walls. As you can see above, this wall is no any shade or cover, so the rainwater will direct flow on this wall surface during rainy day. Besides that, This wall also near to the drainage that located behind it, meaning that if the water flooding over the drainage then will get in touch with this wall. So, groundwater and flooding also will cause rising dampness. The groundwater may be absorbed by the walls and transported up the wall by capillary action. The fifth defect in my portfolio is crack on wall. Here is the one of the building of Faculty of Built Environment, and in front of this building is the Department of Electrical Engineering's building. It is the nature of many construction materials to crack as they age and as they expand and contract, particularly with exposure to moisture as they get wet and dry out alternately. There are cracks in common areas, such as exterior walls, interior walls at corners of doors and windows, and ceilings. Crack defects have classified a visible damage to walls. As you can see, this is a horizontal crack away from the corner column. According to the construction, the occurrence of wall crack is because they are overloaded or because the structure has settled or heaved. Vertical and angled crack are usually caused by settlement or heaving. Nevertheless, for horizontal crack are more likely to be caused by lateral pressure. Cracks result from drying out or taking up of moisture or from the initial drying out of material that cannot be avoided. Cracks also is often exaggerated. It means a natural reaction of the owner or occupiers of the building. Besides that, cracks may be an indication of instability of the structure. Even though it is taken seriously, it will have little or no effect on stability or other aspect of building performance apart from appearance. The last defect that I would like to introduce is timber decay. Here is the corridor of 4th Residential College, Block D, 2nd floor, University of Malaya. Timber defect are classified into two major groups, non-biological and biological deteriorations. Non-biological deterioration consists of physical decay, excessive moisture content, dimensional instability and chemical deterioration. These defects are mainly caused by the timber in service being subjected to environmental exposure. The most common and destructive timber biological deterioration is those due to dry rot, wet rot as well as insect attraction. Typically, timber decay may occur at roof timber, floor timber and joinery timber such as door frame or window frame. This defect results whether wetworm infestation is active or there is evidence of decay such as wet rot and dry rot. Dry rot also can be destructive and spread considerable distance within an affected building. It is essential that the cause and full extent of the attack is established. Besides that, timber decay in building will only occur if the timber becomes sufficiently wet. As you can see, this infect area has insect on it, so that the cause that result this defects is insect or termites attack. Termites are small, pale to brownish black in color, insect that capable of feeding on mostly anything including timber. This top-hung window frame is located very near to the bathroom and the water may be spill on it result the timber start to wet. The timber is easily deteriorated if exposed to water penetration, high moisture content and loading beyond its capacity, as this greedy and colony living insect is easily attracted to it. Insect or termite attacks pose a threat to damp and digestible timber found in wall plates, the feeder rafter, bearing ends of beams and trusses. Affected timber can be treated by pressure spraying with insecticide or fumigant insecticidal process.